Good afternoon, welcome to Sports on Midday Live. I am Nana Kojo Afre. The Ghana Football Association will have contract with players for future international tournament to avoid problems encountered at the 2014 FIFA World Cup over player bonuses. The players took strike action because they had not been paid prior to Brazil 2014, resulting in 3 million in cash flown out to appease the squad. The country's football association says it would revert to sign agreements and bank transfers for bonuses for players.
In discussing bonuses of players, which was part of the budgets, the practice has always been to involve players in our negotiations. And so prior to this, we held a meeting in Montenegro during our match with Montenegro and discuss the budget proposals with the players. Management and government officials sought to explain the basis for the budget with the players. And at that time, I can inform you clearly that there was a deadlock because whilst players were demanding 100,000 as appearance fee, then we offered 82,500. To continue to perform well at the level of the Black Stars, we used to see more hard work, discipline, and commitment from our players. In moving forward, we wish to note that the World Cup in Brazil taught us bitter lessons. We must continue to emphasize discipline as a hallmark for success in our team. Management will continue to support the coach to instill discipline in the team. The current code of conduct will be transformed into a contract with detailed terms and conditions as a basis for invitation to the national team. The contract will cover appearance fees, bonuses, and other payments.
So that was a president of the Ghana Football Association addressing the media there yesterday, telling us that indeed the Ghana Football Association will sign contracts with the players before they go for any international tournament. Joining us on the phone line is Christopher Poku, a sports analyst. He will be looking at the press conference if it really dealt with issues and the concerns raised by a lot of Ghanaians, because we all agree that the 2014 World Cup for the Ghana Black Stars was a big mess for us. Christopher, thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much, Nana.
Yeah, Chris, let's get straight into the pre-contract that the GFA says it will be signing with players ahead of any tournament. Do you feel that will address the indiscipline issue and the issue of flowing cash to the players?
Well, you know what? There's so much little that paperwork can actually do. If you remember, back in the day, they said it was going to be a code of ethics for the Black Stars in terms of discipline. These papers were handed out. Fact is, the Black Stars Management Committee has to hold itself responsible for not, as it were, building a relationship with the player and enabling them to ensure that there was discipline in camp. I mean, right from the technical team and the Black Stars Management team, I think that they failed miserably in that regard. Contracts, I don't know, but I think there has to be a paradigm shift. You know, I'm not against players being paid appearance fees and all that, but I also think that there has to be a sense of pride in putting on a national shirt. Problem is that the set of players we have treated them like demigods for 8 years now, giving them virtually everything they want, not even negotiating. So at the moment, they are only playing for cash. They are playing for money. They are not even playing for national pride. It should be a combination of the two. So I think that is the first thing going forward. And then a dissolution of the current Black Stars Management Committee and the appointment of people who can actually do the job should be done. I've always maintained it, and I say it without fear of favor, that the Black Stars Management Committee under Fred Papo did its job in 2006 and 2010. Kwesi Nyantechi is way too busy to be the Black Stars Management Committee chairman. He should step down, and those on the committee should be kicked out of the committee for others to come in who would have time for the boys, because they didn't build any relationship with the boys. They were so far apart from the boys, so it breeded mistrust. And these boys are already headstrong already, and there wasn't enough strong hands in terms of discipline. So for me, I don't know what signing contracts will do. What I think probably needs to be done is the government, the ministry, and the FA will have to take a hardline stance and say, okay, look here, this is what we can afford. If you don't want to take this amount of money, then you're not playing for the Black Stars, and then we can get some other players who will. So I think that's what should be done. But paperwork will probably be talk shop and papering over the cracks, if you ask me.
Well, moving forward, we have the 2015 Nations Cup in Morocco to look forward to, and the FA has retained Coach Kwesi Appiah as the man to get us at the Nations Cup, which we've not won in 3 decades. Do you believe, or do you think he is that person to do that for us?
I do not think so, and I think that he's been set an almost impossible task by the Ghana Football Association. Given what has gone on, he has lost the dressing room. Short of building a new team, he has lost the dressing room because he's lost the respect of the players. And secondly, tactically, he still has a long way to go. And I feel sorry for him because if he had been set a target to get to the semi-finals of the African Nations Cup, you'd have said, okay, another chance. But to be set a target of winning the African Nations Cup next year, Nana, I can tell you point blank.
You are saying that Coach Kwesi Appiah has lost the dressing room. You were one of the people who campaigned, for him and for the Ghana Football Association to appoint a black man, for that matter, an indigenous coach as coach of the Black Stars.
Yes, I was, and I'm not ashamed to say that. Yes, I have been one of Kwesi Appiah's biggest supporters. But what I have seen over the last few months has convinced me otherwise. And I'm sorry to say this: what has happened under Kwesi Appiah is enough to shut the door on any other local coach coming into the national team. He has lost the dressing room. That's an inescapable fact. We cannot run away from that fact. And I have to state it as it is. Regardless of the fact that I support him, I still respect and admire him as a person. But I don't think he's the man to take us forward. If the FA thinks he is the man, who am I to talk? But I can only give my analysis. My biggest fear is if the Black Stars don't win the African Nations Cup next year, they will fire him.
Chris,
would that be better than him walking away? I'll need you to answer that question.
Thank you very much for joining us on Sport on Midday Live.